Today we're going to be sharing with you guys about how we care for our chickens naturally.
Hey y'all, I just wanted to share my little passion, which are the chickens on our homestead. This has been something that I've absolutely loved. It's just thrilling to come out and see eggs that your chickens have laid, and you get to take them in and make super great food with them. And I know what they've been fed, I know how they've been cared for, and take a laid back, natural approach. We always have food scraps, either juicing, whatever vegetables. And as you can see, I've got my little my little willow kitty out here traipsing around trying to see what she can get into. We always have food scraps from cooking up vegetables, whatever tops I cut off of anything. I just bring it out here and I'll toss it on the ground for the chickens to kind of peck at. They absolutely love any kind of food scraps. I feed organic, non-GMO. I do not do any soy or corn. Soy is a hormone disruptor, and if I'm not going to eat it and use it myself, I don't want to use it for my chickens either. So, and I just like to make sure that they have plenty of scraps. For any animal, clean water is always important. In the wintertime, as you can see, we have our heated waters so that water doesn't get frozen. And I keep just a little bit of apple cider in their water. I'm not absolutely consistent with this, to be honest, but when I think about it, I'll just toss like a teaspoon or a tablespoon, depending on how big their water container is. Apple cider vinegar is just, it's a powerhouse. It is just so healthy for us and for our animals, and so I just like to do that. It just keeps them nice and healthy. So this is my little hen house, our little actual coop that they come up into at night time. They have roosting areas on the back side, and on this side I've got all of the laying boxes. And chickens absolutely love herbs, and I have a whole bed of mint, and we have marjoram, and then lavender, and so I will clip those in the summertime, dry them, and put them in their laying boxes. It keeps the laying boxes fresh and it makes them smell so good, and they absolutely love it. So I just kind of toss it on the edges, and they just kind of peck around with it. It just makes everything smell super good. I love the marjoram and the thyme. They love the marjoram and peppermint. The peppermint is their all-time favorite. They're constantly getting in that bed and I'm having to shush them out, but herbs are so good for them. This year, my goal is to have some fresh herbs planted around the coop so that they can just kind of peck at them and eat them at will. And then as the summer winds down, then I will take those and clip them and dry them and have them for their laying boxes all winter long.
So if you go on seedsnow.com, they have a special like poultry garden like seed packet bundle that you can get that we are definitely looking at. So if you're interested in growing some kind of like little garden for your chickens, you can go on there.
So I have 9 hens. Not all of them will lay on any given day. I find that they just kind of lay randomly, and I'm competing with the rooster. Both the roosters, apparently. So I typically, this winter, my hens are not even a year old. And so they're in their prime laying eggs. And I have been typically all throughout this winter, which I've been really pleased with, out of 9 hens, I get anywhere from 5 to 7 eggs every day. And hens usually have a favorite laying box, is what you kind of find. And this one typically has been the favorite. But if you'll notice back here, I have a couple of eggs back here. They've found a new spot. So there's actually 2 places that I'm gathering eggs from, which has been kind of interesting. So they can be a little particular about where they lay their eggs. Every once in a while, I will find one even on the ground, which is kind of odd and doesn't happen often, but it will. So it's always good to kind of do your little Easter egg hunt and just make sure that there's no random eggs on the ground. But mostly, this is where they lay their eggs. As you can see, my eggs are pretty clean. They will get poopy if you're not keeping your laying boxes clean. So that's kind of your first indication that probably time to clean my laying boxes out. So I had a friend of mine who shared with me, who also has chickens, to lay bark down, especially before the fall. And that allows them to be able to poop in it, and the poop kind of drops through and it keeps your coop clean. And then comes springtime, when I'm ready to clean everything out from winter, clean out the laying boxes real good, do a thorough cleaning of the whole coop. Really good to help the manure just to kind of go down in the bark. And then come springtime, I pull it out and it is rich goodness, y'all. It has such good nutrients for flower beds or garden beds, whatever. Here's the thing with chicken poop, you want it to have time to break down, and this has had all winter to kind of break down with snow and rain and whatever. And it's unlike goat poop or sheep poop, where you can literally go in your sheep shed, your goat area, and pull that manure out, and you can spread it directly on areas that are needed for extra nutrients. It's not a hot manure. Chicken poop is a hot manure, so you don't want to do any of that. So this is an idea that we got from some really good friends of ours. She also has chickens, my girlfriend Dawn, and she found this feeder so that mice aren't getting in it, your feed doesn't get wet, it just keeps it all protected. And it is a really neat idea with the little things down at the bottom. It's got these bolts in these PVC tubes, and there's holes drilled in them. I can give you all the link on how to put this together and how to make it, but this has been a lifesaver on our feed budget for the chickens, because it's all protected and they just peck at those little PVC and the bolts hanging. They kind of move back and forth and allow the food to just drop out, and they learned how to do this really quick. I kept a little bit of feed out in the beginning when they were learning how to do this so that they had food, and they picked up on it real quick. They barely peck at that thing, the food drops, and it keeps the coop a lot cleaner too, from feed just being spread all over.